Hello, this is Lisa Lee, and welcome to this week's Pick a Card reading. I'm sitting with the guides, and I keep seeing somebody who has like a question that they can't get the answer quite right, or there's like something that they're picking up on all the signs, but they're not able to sort of make heads or tails of it. And so this reading is really going to be, what do your guides want to tell you that you're kind of missing? Like, what are you not seeing? What are they not getting through? And so we've got 3 different piles here. Pile number 1 is the unicorn, and I'm just gonna that flipped, so I'm gonna take it. The unicorn. Pile number 2 is the eye, and pile number 3 is it's time. It has to do with time. And so I pulled these cards. I'm gonna actually show you what the bottom of the deck is. With the vow at the bottom of the deck, if this is resonating for you, it's possible that all 3 piles are for you. If not, take a moment to meditate on the objects and the piles and see what calls you. Also, timestamps are below if you want to go by the number. And with that, we will begin. Okay, pile number 1, let's get into it. So with the vow on the bottom of the deck, we are talking about some sort of a promise. And not just like and it's not an empty one. My head has been very deep in a lot of research, and the ancient Greek vows were like super serious, and especially when you made it like certain vows to certain guides or gods, really, that was it. If you made a vow to Hades and people knew, like, if you used certain gods' names, like, that you were serious, like you could not break that vow. And so there's something very powerful here with the bottom of the deck energy being a vow. It's a promise to you, some sort of a soul contract. You're having a temporary experience. So the version of you that is infinite made some sort of an agreement here that is like wholly binding. And so we have the unicorn. This is like, again, it's going to signal to me that there's something very unique about you. And then with the hunter, which we saw pop out, like both of these are horses in one way or another. Like the unicorn is and this is a horse and this is a unicorn, but they're remarkably similar in pose. So you're very, very unique. But I get the sense that there's something, I feel very powerfully when I sort of lean into this, that I'm seeing the craziest vision right now, and I don't totally understand it because I don't know a whole bunch about horses. Horses are very majestic, they're very powerful, they're beings of like incredible strength, and they're very smart, and they're dog-like in their ability to be between realms. What was that? I'm just going to keep going because that was something that fell. At least I heard something fall. I just don't see anything. So with this hunter here, I see the horse that doesn't want a saddle, or the horse that had been saddled too young, or a horse that associates the saddle with pain and suffering, or some relationship to structure and discipline that, like breaking a horse. Let me get some more cards here. Flipping around, we have the 7 of Cups, dizziness, Nine of Wands, 10 of Wands, 4 of Wands, Page of Cups. Too much when you were little, way too much when you were young. So the Page of Cups, I'm seeing someone like enter the world, offer their cup of love to the world. So undefended is standing out to me. There's something here about being like remarkably undefended. With the 4 of Wands being some sort of an arrangement, a marriage, a union, and it doesn't look like a holy one. With the 10 of Wands broke your back, and the 9 of Wands left you saddled with a lot to carry on your own, and that's unique. Okay, so there's a uniqueness coming in around the experience that you had, and that was very straightforward. And so I want to talk about this because your guides are basically saying, like, what are they trying to tell you that you're not hearing? It's related to your work ethic, which is like simultaneously like being driven or running or being hunted, like trying to outrun the hunter. Yeah, this is a story. Let me just kind of look at this. Eight of Swords, Five of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Pentacles. All in reverse. A trap to put you in a state where your words were benefiting a piece of shit in one way or another. All right, well, because look, you know, with this King of Pentacles and you're the Queen of Swords, and it was in reverse with this Eight of Swords and Five of Swords. So it was a trap to keep your voice in service of something that it was you got away. That's why it's in reverse. And so I want to move into this confusion. I want to look at this Seven of Cups, because we're talking about an inability to commit, an inability to make a decision in a way that like I saw confusion when I sat down to do this pick a card. I saw someone who couldn't focus. They couldn't find the way. They couldn't pick the option. They couldn't get it exactly right. And there is this energy of escape here with the Empress, the High Priestess, the Lovers, and the Nine of Pentacles being what you can do, what you're capable of, what you really have going on. And so you might be getting missed messages from your guides with this Two of Cups, related to what they want to provide for you and how they want to provide for you. And so there's a stubbornness, there's a way that you're not listening. And I like this deck, and I like this Two of Cups, because this Two of Cups is less about an external influence. Like if you look at this Two of Cups is about like almost like you're being provided for by a guide that sees you clearly, that understands you, that knows your worth, and that knows where you're meant to go. That seashell here and the pearl, like I spoke about this in the previous reading, like this is something that is created with a lot of opposition. And I feel like you've been mistreated. Ace of Wands, though, you're very passionate about what you want to do. And so this hunter is like, you know, I feel like you're being hunted, that there's something that's hunting you, that there's some sort of perfection that you have to meet, or else there is some urgency, some survival, some mechanisms where your guides are trying to tell you, because you can't see the way forward with all the Seven of Cups confusion about where you should be, where you have to be, what you have to be doing. And a lot of that like confusion is because you're taking a high stakes lens and putting it over stuff that is not high stakes right now. There are decisions to be made, and I do feel a certain kind of urgency, but I feel this panic with the hunter of prey. I feel the feeling of being prey. You are unique, you are valuable, and you have had some kind of experiences of work, probably in different ways, where there's been exploitation. But that's because the world we're in sucks. You know, that's the truth. But you are protected from it. Like I feel that you have like an almost phobic response to being mishandled. Nobody should be mishandled. But I guarantee when you leave your house and go into the world, you will probably be mishandled by it. And that is not some sort of condemnation or you should be afraid. Part of what it is to become strong, and part of what it is to step into your power and like be, you know, I want us to take on the mantle of adult and change it from like broken horse, which is what we think of adults as, to like a phase that maybe is underdeveloped. You know, patriarchy and war god are one and the same for me. And so when we think about like a war god's world, we're thinking about a world where you die young, no matter what. So there is no like real place for the middle age or the old age, or like what that journey really entails, what the riches are in there. And so with this Empress card being your creativity is like next level, stellar. Like this is somebody who has mastered the Queen of Passion, the Queen of Words, the Queen of Emotions, the Queen of how to get it done. You have everything that it takes, High Priestess, to bring in this High Priestess sort of archetype. There's something here with the Lovers card about, this is like the Divine Genius is like, that's the one. The Divine Genius isn't picking another one. With the Lovers card here and the Nine of Pentacles. This is actually a story in and of itself. The Lovers and the Nine of Pentacles, that's a story in and of itself. And so I'm going to look at that just a tiny bit, because we're here with the Vow as being the unifying energy in the reading. And the Hunter, somebody's scared. They're scared as a base. I'm almost feeling like it's your base, your homeostasis. you were in an environment with such a terrorist energy that you, like you developed a homeostasis, a place of peace, a place of baseline like energy that is like high alert. It's like a protective stance. The hunted. What is the experience of the hunted to the hunter? What is that experience? That's crazy to even ask. But so much of what the work that we do when we really begin to investigate our like inner worlds is asking the right questions of our gods, of our guides, because that's what they speak to us through everything. The way that they speak. And so when we pose the right questions, we begin to really get the right answer. And what is this relationship between the hunted and the hunter that you with the Four of Swords need to heal from? It needs to be investigated by you. And it's not from a place of feeling like you have to get there immediately right now. Oh my God, like first in line. You have this high stakes and this very high pressure around this, like this, it's not your homeostasis, but it's like this baseline that I keep feeling that is in opposition. It's pretty much the only thing that's in opposition to like what you're capable of. Because what you're capable of just doesn't have the correct avenue of release yet. And your guys are like, we're in charge of that, Justice. We're hiding you. With the Nine of Materials, again, the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Materials, like you're holding a tremendous worth in and of yourself, just who you are and what you have. With the Two of Inspiration being about a plan, your guys are saying, like, obviously, we're not going to just drop you in a feeding frenzy. We have a plan. And part of that plan includes you trusting them that this promise here, that what you have brought into the world with you, what has been refined through your experiences, what your guides have put great effort into in the way of your voice, that it will find its way. There's a promise here. But you're like this bucking horse that you have to get there immediately. Oh my gosh, like I'm not there yet. Like that I have to, be 10 steps ahead, like in fighting mode, like in defense of, like thinking that you're all that there is between you and some sort of catastrophe. It's like I'm almost feeling it's like a percussive like sound in the background that's always there. And so in order to, and I guess I would kind of say that the repression around this is really interesting. Four of Voices, like it's like there's a breeze coming in and your guys are like, just relax, because what we're bringing through this period of reflection, what is the relationship between the hunter and the hunted? What is that relationship like? What is that telling you about the training that you've had and the conditioning that you've endured? And how is that influencing the lens that you view the world through? And what does it mean to put down your sword and step into this Four of Swords place of the war is in fact over? High states, heightened states. And so with the Justice card here, the Nine of Materials and the Two of Inspiration, we are talking about, again, it's like, it's simultaneously a conditioning and also an addiction to heightened states. Like it's both things, like yes and, like it, and there's no judgment or condemnation in there. It's just that your guides are saying like, it's going to be a little bit of work for you to transition from this relationship, because it's the relationship that you carry. The relationship might be over, but that feeling that you carry with you is like this knowing that there's this relationship that you've had, that you carry with you, that is like hunter and hunted. And so when you're able to sort of like untangle what that is for you, not untangle what that is for everybody else, not make a thesis about it for the people. Like I'm really, really going to encourage you to like stop taking like catchphrases and like pronouncing them. Like that is terrible, right? What you need to do in order to like actually like bring this in, integrate it, make it a part of who you are, so that it then like fuels organically like delivered wisdom with it from within you. And that's going to be your healing, your balm. That's going to be the new safety, is to actually sit with that question. Like, what is the relationship between the hunted and the hunter. What is that relationship like? What does that feel like? What does it do? How does it operate? And how am I allowing that to be an operating system that I see the world through? If this is you, right? If this is resonating for you. And so like when you sit with that question and answer it for yourself, that comes the wisdom that you then have to deliver, that you know where it came from and that you can root in. And so that's actually the process with this, is to like individually ask yourself this question and get this answer for yourself. And now you can see through it. Now you know what you're looking through. Now it can anchor you. Now it can integrate. Now it can displace that otherwise like always scanning for trouble, you know, like always scanning for the opposition. Because what you have on offer, again, justice, like there's justice here for you. Your guys are saying like, what do you keep missing? Like they have billboards up of like, everything's going to be fine. This is all you have to do. And you're like, I'm still worried. Because I know, you know, Queen of Inspiration, like you're in the fight, and your guides want you to understand that that passion is there to fuel you, but to really like put it in the right direction, really work on what it means to Seven of Voices. Yeah, this is like the thief, always on alert because of the thief. The thief of life, the injustice. That's the Seven of this Chariot. Sevens are very significant right now for you because you are leveling up, and that is a very like squeezy. Whenever you find yourself like in the trenches of like an expanded awakening, you're gonna have this like chariot, like the old way of being like is a habit, you know, the new way of being is calling you to like put some effort into getting out of those habits. And there's always going to be this like real effort that you have to like get the horses to go where you're going. One wants to go one way, the other wants to go the other way, but you're on a mission. There is some sort of a map. And so your guides are saying like, you know, we're that's you. You're like, you're going two directions. They're trying to go somewhere. That's what they're trying to tell you. They know where they're going. You can trust them. There's a promise here. There's a Two of Cups. You're panicking before it gets like there's a panic point, and your guys are saying like, what we're trying to get through to you is that there will be justice. You are established more than you could ever possibly imagine, and that there just happens to be a plan here in terms of that delivery and that direction. And a plan doesn't mean postponed, and a plan doesn't mean inaction. A plan means that like whatever you're doing, you're in the right direction. Keep going. You're moving in the right direction. You might feel lost, but there's something about not chariot. Just keep going. The horses keep on falling off the path. You're lost again. Like you're still on the journey. Keep on the journey. How we doing on time? We're getting close. So your guides want you to know you have what it takes, and you are the chosen one. that Lovers card is like celestial. With the High Priestess and the Lovers right next to each other, especially with the Empress there, you're the chosen mother of this thing. You're the chosen one in terms of this justice. You've already been established in terms of this Nine of Pentacles. That Two of Wands, that plan there is in place. That Seven of Cups, and that Seven of Swords. This is your mind. So I see you being like this Queen of Inspiration. You like hotsy-totsy hot stuff. It's like I just heard someone's guide say that. Hotsy-totsy hot stuff. You got the hotsy-totsy hot stuff. The plan here is not like you have to deal with some level of uncertainty, and it's not even uncertainty. Look at this death. The death card is like haunting this collective lately. There is some change that's coming in, and so you can see like she's manifesting with her hands this way forward. These horses are going to carry her. She's divinely influenced. There's a transformation that she's in the middle of that she might not even realize she's in the middle of. I'm like sorry about how like the table is just not straight. I'm still kind of working on how to fix that. But the Queen of Inspiration and the Seven of Voices and the Seven of Cups, that confusion and that misdirection and that misalignment and like that false messaging that's the problem. So let's quickly look at that so that we can kind of get to the point where we leave this reading with a level of answers. Ten of Swords. I can feel this, like, I'm still battling this cough from a flu that I had. But it's funny when, like, the coughing starts to kick up. Because I have a very sensitive, I'm a physical medium and I have a very sensitive body. With the Judgment card. And the Knight of Coins. And there's this constricting in my lungs. Eight of Coins, Ten of Swords. So Queen of Inspiration, I almost think that, like, the divine genius, and when I talk about a divine genius, I mean the creative influence, the gods, you know, those who hold the inspirations and dispense them out to those that they want to co-create things into the world with. Like, the divine genius is going to be the spiritual influences that make stuff with you. You are the Queen of Inspiration. You are the Queen of Wands. You are the Empress. You are the High Priestess. You are the Lover. And that Nine of Pentacles and the Lover there says, like, you are chosen. There's, like, a consecration. There's a relationship that's, like, fixed, because that's High Priestess status in a certain kind of way, the Nine of Pentacles. So with the Judgment, the Eight of Coins, and the Ten of Swords, there is some judgment here. And I do have to cough again because I feel this as being, like, maybe it's hard for you to accept. This is a deep cough too. The Yoke. I have to just pause. All right, that was a great little body lesson. I wanted to, like, push through. I was like, I feel like I have to cough. I don't want to cough in a reading. I don't want to cough while I'm channeling. Like, why would I have, like, a coughing fit? Especially when that's something that I can usually kind of, like, control. And so I was forced to stop what I was doing. That's this Ten of Swords. So there's something about, like, being forced to stop something that you're doing, what you were doing, wherever you were going. That Seven of Swords is, like, this is about, like, the counterfeit, the false, the liar, the manipulator, the thieves, you know, the trap, the den, you know, and the Seven of Cups is confusion, right? Your confusion, like. So your guys were saying, like, there's something here that needs to be stopped in its tracks. You need it to be slowed down. You need to be slowed down. There's nowhere to rush. So your guys are saying, again, that you... My cat is making a lot of noise as she wiggles her way out the door. There's a lot of distraction with that Seven of Cups energy. There's a lot that you pick up on and you go into high alert and you rear up in that hunter stance. And you go into predator and prey mode and you feel unsafe. And your guys have carved out the time for you in one way or another to slow down and listen and begin to engage with the questions that will bring your healing. Because the justice of what it is that you are capable of in the way of bringing inspiration into the material, like your material satisfaction, like your material abundance, your wealth, your tangible wealth. To do this, your guides are saying the only thing you need to do is slow down, which means that you need to make a decision with the Judgment card here about the way that you allocate your time and your work energy. And there might need to be a very, like, painful death with something that is just not good for you. In one way or another, whatever it is, it's not good for you. And your guides have been trying to make you stop. And so that's a harsh message here. But, you know, if your spiritual guidance is just, like, strictly entertainment, then it's just a level of spirituality that doesn't necessarily give you the medicine. And some spirituality is here to give us some medicine. And so there's, like, you know, your guys are saying, like, we know, like, how many times are we going to have to tell you? Like, you know, what you're not listening to us with here is the necessity for you to focus on a transition and really move in a new way. And there's something that you're holding on to here with the commitment, acquisition, and responsibility. And your guides want you to stop. There is wrath, there's instability, there is suspicion, there is shit, there's something wrong. and they know that they've been telling you over and over again, and they know that you don't want to listen, and they know that you don't want to move out of this like hunted hunter place. But there's something about this alchemy, like this unanswered question that you haven't sort of really let yourself sit with, about what is this relationship with the predator and the prey, that you've somehow, like energetically, you're creating a match for it when you don't really attend to what it is to like let go of that dynamic. Fully let go of that dynamic is more than just like leaving the bad relationship or leaving the bad home. It's also like identifying those patterns within yourself and like not reliving the feeling state in the present moment, and to undo that conscious stranglehold that has, that question has to be answered. And so you're invited to begin to answer that question. And if you're being slowed down and if your guides are saying halt, it's because they promise you there's a plan, and it's a better plan where you will have justice. And so if you're not seeing the way forward, if the way forward hasn't presented itself to you, it's because your guides are saying, like, keep moving, don't stop moving. But there's something about the direction that is like yet to be revealed. I think that revelation comes with actually attending to the question that our guides are posing us. Yeah, so we're going to leave it there. And each of you has a different answer to this question. And that answer is the gold that you have to offer and to bring through. And that is how the wisdom is produced, is your particular answer to that question, not reiterating the question, but actually answering it for yourself. That's where you get the gold. And so I invite you into the question, because there's a promise here for you, and what will be revealed. And so with that, pile number 1, that's what your guides have been trying to tell you. So let's leave it there. Okay, pile number 2, we have the eye, and we've got the temple. And so this is like, there's something about the vision here with the temple. And I want to, with the vow on the bottom of the deck as being sort of the unifying energy, I want to see what this temple really means, or what it stands for. Your guides want to commend you on being, like, on your integrity. There's something here with the temple where I see that you are like, the reason why there's this vow, and the reason why there's this choice around you, that you like, I feel like that you have kind of an absence of faith. Whatever the vision is you're chosen for, it, you're having the vision, right? But the vow here says that the promise has to do with your particular purity. And that's like a funny thing, because I'm not seeing it as being like the purity that we associate with purity. I'm seeing it as being essence, which is kind of the devil, right? So I felt it. I felt this kind of like weird way in which, like, you are pure, and as a result, like, there's this vision. I don't know. I have to get more cards, because with the 3 of emotions being community, at an emotional level, on the moon, these illusions and these delusions, and the 3 of voices being heartbreak. The temple path is a gnarly one if you find yourself on it, truly on it, if you are really called in this way. It's like the walkers of the mysteries, and you're interacting with the different realms, and there's different dimensions, and like the seeking of the truth is going to lead you into like these labyrinths of, like, to be in the mind of creation is to, like, it is an adventure at best. And so the temple path is not, it's pure. Like, there is something so pure about it, but it's not without, like, it's not purity, that is distilled nothing. Like, I'm seeing water, and it's clear, and it's just like, it's pure self. It's not like it's not that kind of purity. It's this essence, like the power of essence, like the refining of essence. So the essence of anger, the essence of love, the essence of, like, these things are purely themselves. Like, and that's not, but the substance of what they are, like, has a charge. It's not absent a charge. And so there's something here about, like, the temple being rebuilt, in relationship. Yeah, the temple path. So you're on this temple path and you have this vision, and there's a vow here, there's a promise. But the devil underneath the temple, and the Eight of Emotions, about walking away from something that there's a lot of emotional investment in. There's a stronghold associated with it, with that Devil card here, and the Seven of Inspiration under the Three of Swords and the Ten of Emotions. Strength. All right, let's see. How are we gonna look at this today? This is interesting. When I see the moon path, it's a path that you wouldn't like that would have been hard from the beginning. And so like the moon path, I'm always thinking of somebody who like they're out of sync with the sun, like in a sense, like they're born under the moon and in sync with the moon, but that means that like their daily experience, there's like a slight out of sync. It's not a positive feeling. It's some kind of other, being the other. And so being on this temple path, especially without like the proper guidance or the proper mirroring, this has been very difficult for you to hold and to handle. And so the healing that needs to come in around what it is for you to share yourself in community, be celebrated, be seen, be perceived, especially in relationship to this beautiful and pure vision, like what's kind of anchoring you to the destroyer in a kind of a way. It's something that needs to be walked away from. Let's look at that. There's a devil in you, right? Now, I don't mean that in like a possession kind of a way. Everybody has like everything. Everybody's an anima mundi. They're like the little anima mundi. Like everyone has everything in them. And the devil aspect is like this tyrannical energy within you that says it has to be this way. It's only like this. It's like rigid, you know, like the rigidity, like my way or the highway on something that is like, yeah. So your guides are saying like, it's like you have this vision, it's a beautiful vision, but you have to walk away from something here in the way of the tyrant that operates from within you. The Morgan is around your voice and opposition, right? Or something. Because that Seven of Inspiration, that Seven of Wands, that defense around this broken heart, it's keeping you from accessing like what you truly want in the way of emotional satisfaction. And that's kind of like, you've got this promise here, but there's also something that needs to be tamed. Like I feel a touch of opposing your fate with the moon and the Muse of Materials. Like this is your path, and it's going to be a path that's going to be like you're going to be like, there's a part of you that doesn't want to be you. You want a different experience. You want a different life. You want a different circumstance. You want a different story. You're opposing the place that you find yourself in the universe. Quite literally, like in your day-to-day experience, like you're at war with a little bit. So there's this vision that's there, but there's also kind of this, like, there's a part of you that doesn't want to step all the way into whatever this role might be. And your guides want you to let go of an emotional investment in something that isn't your experience or isn't your life, with this need to move on from a dream or an idea or a hope that wasn't meant for you in one way or another. Like that's like, it seems kind of harsh, but you have a vision, and it's very important that you're like, the vision is right, the vision is true. Like there's something about your essence that's like purely like made for this or created for this, but your attachment to the past in one way, like an old way of doing things, an old way of like, this Eight of Cups is a tricky one, because it means you have to walk away from a lot of emotional investment. And it's possibly in a way of being perceived. Humility, disillusionment, and champion. I always see Joan of Arc come through for this card with this card. And that's probably because that's, yeah. the martyr of the storyteller, the martyr and the prince. Like, her story is really difficult for me because every time I see it, I'm like, she was true, she was right, she was like, that was a witch, like she was born that way, like I know what's going on over there, I understand. I wouldn't have maybe gone about things the way that she did, but like I get it, you know. But it was not good. She got murdered in the end. She was the martyr. Like, you can't shift. And like this is the problem of having certain gifts, is you think that you can like shift things from within, shift the external, like from putting yourself in harm's way. Basically, you think you can like move the mountain with your might, and you can't. And so you can't move the mountain with your might on whatever this dream is. And maybe you have a really pure perception of what it should be that you need to like put down so that you can actually get there. So the Joan of Arc like energy for me is one where, you know, she's a prophet. Like, yes, that's a witch. Like, that's one of those ones, you know. But that doesn't her proving it does not mean that the world is ready for it, and that there's a limit to the power of persuasion, and that's hard to accept. And so there's a limit to the power of persuasion. And so your guides are saying that like they want you to accept your position where you come from the shadows. Like, you come from the places where the masses aren't. You come from the perspectives where it's not the broad perspective. It's unique. And so what it means for you to find like healing and rest in community is to allow for this vision to like take on a life of its own almost. Because this heartbreak here, this is disappointment. Like, why are people this way? They don't see the purity vision. You know what I mean? Like, and the Seven of Inspiration, the Seven of Wands, that's going to be like a defense that is just like, you know, they don't see it. I have to make them see it. That's like the persuasion, right? Yeah, mother of creation, ferocity, you know, like sometimes to create and to co-create, like what needs to be tamed here is like this tyranny around like how much you fought for it this way, how much you did, how much work, you know. There's a need here to, let's see what our guides want to say on the way of advice. And like, that's a lot that just fell onto the floor. When stuff falls on the floor, I'm always like, what are you running away from? The hunt. Yeah, the first pile was the hunt. I have to climb under the table. I'll be right back. To grab all these cards that fell out, because what are you running away from? Apparently, there's something that you're running away from. There's something that wants to communicate itself through you that you need to stop and listen for. It's around this vision. So it's like you might be like tyrannical, like this is how I want to do it. It has to be like this, you know. And your guides are like, no, like it natural balance. You're running away from something here in the way of something that wants to be born through you. The Morgan, atonement, growth, deceit, short-sightedness, ambition, narcissism, commitment, acquisition, responsibility, completion, support, expediency. Yikes, this is from the past. So like, you see this little butterfly, the blue? I don't know if you can, I'm gonna just hold it a little higher. You're it's like you were forged in like the flames of hell in one way or another. Like the Thanatos is death. And so like I do see for you like this need to like actually fully let go of an old way of perceiving divinity. Really let go of trying to appeal to like the broad appeal, like whatever that broad sweep appeal is. You're not appealing broadly. You have to heal the way that you want. Like I feel like there's so much here that is promised for you, that is a gift for you, where you just kind of have to let go of what you thought it could be, or what you thought it would be, or how you expected it to be, or how you want it to be, or how you want to be received, how you want to be seen, how you want people to act, how you want things to do. There's like kind of like this demanding temper tantrum where your guides are like, put it down. Everything that's not easy for you to get to, like, is just the taming process that's getting you where this transformation is leading. And it's like your guides are saying, don't resist that transformation. And there's a level of acceptance about this like moon path. But with the hunt here coming up, you might want to look at pile number 1. because this is an interesting like stack right in front of me. There's an urgency to like get something, get somewhere, you know, achieve something. And that urgency is making it hard for you to see, you know, like that intense ambition is making it hard for you to see like where that growth that is meant for you and like that is meant for your self-perception like is. The growth in here, you know, does reflect your time with self-reflection. And not just that, but like you have to, the ambition is getting in your way. That's like the best way for me to put it. That's like the most forward like way I can put it, is like ambition is getting in your way a little bit, because you are supposed to create something really incredible here, but you need self-discipline and the faith that it's going to happen. And that vow says, I promise, but the strength says you're going to have to temper this tendency to like the necessity of where you need to do introspection. You are like trying to necessitate. And I do know that there's always external things here, but the beauty of what you're making, like your guides are promising you that they're here for you, that they're helping you in this taming process, that you're helping you move from one place to another with where this is supposed to be, but that you're not meant to see it so clearly, like at this time is to be accepted. Page of Coins, you're being slowed down. There's an opportunity. Your guys are saying in terms of the practical stuff, there is an opportunity with the practical stuff to create something of value with others. It's a big long-term process, but you're going to have to calm down, Temperance. There's an alchemy that's needed with the Moon and the Tower. Yeah, because I was feeling that. It's like you're not meant to be able to see this Tower. The Queen of Wands is like you rising up in your passion. The Chariot, this is going to take you somewhere. The Two of Wands, there's a plan in place. Yeah, this is echoing the first pile. And the Seven of Swords is like there's a deception at the level of whatever structure you are currently in. And so your guides are slowing you down in order to bring justice. And so in the meantime, like there's something here about the path that you're being led down, that your guides are moving you through, that is paced at a level where you are going to achieve this goal. But it's not just you. There's a lot that's being orchestrated around you. There's a lot that needs to be brought into balance. And you're meant to allow for this tower to fall. Even if you don't quite know what's going on, you can feel it, but you can't see it. You're experiencing it, but you're not exactly sure. So the dream is there, but your guides are ridding you of all rigidity. And that's like a tough message. You know, it's not coming out as smoothly as I'd like it to. But with this 10 of Coins situation, not coins, sometimes I just have a hard time seeing what's in front of me. With the 10 of Cups, your guides want to bring you into this place of emotional fulfillment. And because they want to bring you into this place of emotional fulfillment, like we are in this moment where the vision has to change a little bit. The vision, like as you're seeing it, there's like a tyrannical quality to like, I need it to happen this way. I need it to happen for me. I need this to happen in this way. And your guides are basically saying like they're slowing you down for a reason. If you can't see the way all the way, it's because it's not revealed yet. There's some tower here that your resurrection, oh God, that's like a baptism by fire. Your baptism by fire is important. That phoenix is important. And so your guides are saying like, yeah, that's there. Be brave, have faith, you know, you need some discipline around this. But your rise is assured. There's a promise here around that. Something needs to be tamed with this Ace of Wands. That inspiration is going to come in. You aren't seeing it clearly or not seeing the way clearly because your guides are saying, here's the very clear instruction for your reading. And this is all we really need. You keep on like looking in front of you and your kind of like your mantra is like, bring me the idea, like show me the way, like open the door, like show me the way, open the door, show me the way. And your guides are saying like, if you can stop saying that and stop like repeating that over and over again, like we can speak to you. We need you to sit in silence. We need you to be quiet. We need you to be receptive. We need you to be comfortable with the fact that there's uncertainty right now because we're not willing to reveal to you what we're doing exactly. But they do see that like this change to your vision, it's necessary. The Fool card, a new beginning is assured. But that Nine of Wands is talking about this collapse. Like you can't do this anymore with the Lover's card and the King of Pentacles. and the Page of Wands and the Eight of Cups. So yeah, there's like Eight of Cups is coming in twice. This is going to happen kind of quickly. So don't worry. This is not a bad thing. Your guys are saying like they're going to, there's a promise. Something needs to be tamed. The vision has to change. What you're being told in this reading is that the vision is going to change. And then it's okay to let go of that old vision, that old way of looking at it. Like there's something new that is going to support you with the King of Pentacles, where you will have that reception. And so this breaking point with the Nine of Wands is like, this is going to be your breakthrough. Your breaking point and your breakthrough are kind of the same spot. And that's hard, you know, but it works, you know. Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands, like you, and the Fool, like you, rocket ship. And so your guides are inviting you to just like be in this opportunity. Like this is the Page of Wands. There's an opportunity here for self-reflection. Be in the self-reflection, because it's not clear. And so when you don't know what direction you're going, it's like good to stop and just sit and just like wait for a minute. Let somebody find you, or let yourself kind of like mentally retrace your steps, or like, you know, begin to formulate a plan. This whole like reading is about that. Removing the urgency from what it is to like know where you're going a little bit. Your guys are saying like the way will reveal itself, but you have to walk away from like an urgency around like old ways of doing things in order to create the space for this new thing to rush in. So with that, we're going to leave this. And I know that sounds like, you know, there's nothing like, the Fool is a good card. And then the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Wands is also like an incredibly positive experience. It feels like a baptism by fire. It feels like a phoenix rising. That is the promise. Like, what does it feel like? Well, right now it feels like this ambiguity and this insistence and like, you know, trying really hard, and you're kind of like spinning out a little bit on like not knowing like, you know, how to force this into, and there's no forcing. Your guides are basically saying like, you know, there's a breaking point here. It's also the breakthrough. And so what it means for you to bring balance right now is, again, begin with that self-reflection and to start engaging with what it is to appreciate this time that you have, and just kind of like start the day with not like an urgency about what am I going to do, but like, I appreciate this time and I want to savor this time. I want to sit still and listen for directions instead of like going in circles looking to find them. And so with that, pile number 2, we're going to leave it. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, pile number 3. Those of you that are like, there's this funny little like banter that I felt as I was sort of entering pile number 3, like this whole energy. There was this weird, like, it was almost like like I heard like an old couple banter. And so with the vow here being, all 3 piles have this as sort of like the unifying theme of like, there's some promise, there's some vow, there's something that's meant for you. And with the Mother card, especially with the Sands of Time, like there's some relationship to like what you want to create and what is meant to come through you and be brought into the world, like with your labor, with your effort, with you as its mother. Something could be a child, but it could also be a project, and can also be a like, there's like, I'm seeing it as like almost feeling like a thing, like a gift to the world, some insight, some innovation, like something powerful. And again, it could be children too, but there's some vow here in relationship to time. Like it could feel like lost time. So let's take a look and see. With the Four of Emotions, the Queen of Voices, and the Knight of Materials, and the Five of Emotions with the Ten of Materials. You know, the Five of Cups is an interesting and very interesting energy to be with the Ten of Coins. Because the Five of Cups is, you know, it's grief, but it can also be like a poverty of emotions, where there's only the presence of grief, like there's only one sort of feeling. And so with the Five of Emotions being, again, usually like it's like a grief, it's like a poverty of all other emotions. And the Ten of Materials being about a foundation and a wealth and an influence, this is funny. So it's like generational wealth, but like I've been working very heavily with like Hades energy and like just looking at the mythology around that and this notion of wealth and ancestral wealth. And so you carry this body of ancestral wealth around something that would otherwise be a pain point. And with the mother card here and the time running out, or the passage of time, like there's also some pain, like some pain of like either, like I am seeing barrenness, like not being able to have babies for one reason or another, but because it's like I'm looking at like legacy, but there also might be something here about like, you know, failure to be able to create, to bring life. And that's not just about biological life. It could be like these geniuses, these like geniuses in your family that they never got to bring their genius to the light of day. They never had that ability to like take that fertility and actually make something of it. And so it's like you're carrying this great wealth. There is a promise here about your fertility with the mother, but with the Four of Emotions being about misdirection or distraction, and the Queen of Voices almost being like the voices in your head, and the Knight of Materials being about slowing you down a little bit. The promise is that you have something to bring through, that the universe is committed to you in helping you sort of like do this, bring this life through. Hathor, Mistress of Harmony, Meditation, Communication, Culture, the Ageless, the Light in the Darkness, Healing, Graciousness, Acceptance. There's a story in you. So your guides really want you to look at. Authority, the Hunt, Natural Balance. We cannot get rid of the Hunter with this group. You know, with the Vow, there's also the Hunt. So with that promise to you and that promise for your life, this thing is not going to like let you get away, right? It's like, because we have had the Hunter show up in all three piles, and I don't think that it is an accident. And so when I think about this earlier question from pile number 1, that is like, what is the relationship between predator and prey? What is that relationship? Because what we're looking at here with the Hunter, especially as it's showing up in common with the Vow in all three piles, we are also seeing that when something is meant for you, it will hunt you down. You're not going to outrun it. No matter how hard you try, that thing is always going to be there. There's always going to be a desire that will not be repressed all the way. It will find a way to express it in 1,000 different ways because it will be heard. And so there's something here about this Four of Emotions, this looking away, the distraction, and especially in terms of like what you're meant to communicate, what you bring to culture, what you actually have on offer with the wisdom in your body, that the wealth of this particular set of genes. And this particular set of genes could be like associated with a wealth to offer that never gets to take life and form in the material realm by way of children, or it can be associated with a wealth of like giftedness, you know, an ability that doesn't ever see the light of day because of culture. And so it's like, it's a fertility that's like for the earth that doesn't get to be born. And so that is going to be like an inspiration that hits like miscarriage after miscarriage after miscarriage. Like, so like art projects that never finish. Or it can be, like, you know, attempts to actually like, you know, bring humans, you know, whatever that is, there's a big pain point with it that is generations old, that is in one way or another associated with a story that you find yourself in. And that's what ancestral work is. And so with the Morgan, the Weaver of Faith, and introspection, like, you know, really like being able to think about this promise. There's some promise that's made to you by way of the desire that will not be repressed. And whatever the circumstances of the story are that have you kind of looking for something where it's not, you're told to meditate and really think about like, what is this relationship between this thing that hunts me in the way of a hope, or even like a grief? What is the relationship between the predator and prey? What is the relationship between these, like the thing that I wanted and it didn't happen, or the thing that I want and I don't know how to make it happen? How do we work with that? How do we go inside on that? Because the voice in your head, this healing acceptance around whatever this circumstance is important. There is something that is meant to be brought to life through you. Definitely. Like I can feel it, you know, like it's actually making me a little choked up just thinking about it, because The weaver of fate, the vow, the promise is that there's something here that wants to be brought into the world through you, that wants to come to life. And you might be the fierce mother that can get it there. And that might be something that you have to plug into. That desire might be, well, it didn't come to me in this way. I wasn't able to bring this to life in that way. There wasn't the cooperation of the universe in the way that I expected it. But I'm going to be a fierce mother. I'm going to step into this mothering phase of life, which is about encountering the obstacles and still forcing that life somehow to survive. Even at the cost of your own sleep, even at the cost of your own body, even at the cost of your own mind. What it means to bring something into the world is more than the conception, and it's more than the birth, it's also the nurture. And what needs to be nurtured through you here is different. The distraction and the four of emotions say that like where the cup is down, where there is something that is foreclosed opportunity, there is also despair, and there's also a drive away from it, a drive to distraction, not letting yourself sit with it, not letting yourself be with that. And the call here is into the meditation with the communication within yourself that says, wait a minute, maybe the culture doesn't provide this, but what is it about the three cups that remain? That the story that those have to offer, that are what is the substance of what I have to bring into my life, to make life with, that it is this healing, graciousness, and acceptance around certain things that then allow other things to be born. When we accept the foreclosed things, then something else is born, and what that thing that is meant to be born is, has been hunting you, and maybe it is slow going. Maybe it has been slow going. Maybe you have been sort of fixated with those Four of Cups on something else. Some other heartbreak or some other loss that this was a symbol of. There's some symbolism there that occurs with the moon and justice and the Empress and the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is words. She's the mental, she's like that place of like mental acuity. She's in her head. She lives in her head. She makes sense of everything. She analyzes everything. She's a genius in one way or another of making sense of things. But when it comes to the Empress, the fertility, and it comes to justice, whatever that injustice is, like there's a moon side to this. And so like the piles are unified under the vow. And in pile number 2, which I really had a hard time getting through because I'm like, well, this is tough. Like there's this aspect of like born on the side of the moon and born on the side of the sun. And so, those who are born to bring material birth, that's going to be like a baby, a physical child into the world. There are those who are meant to mother physical beings, physical children, mother the children through their physical manifestation into the world. That is a job. That is a designation. That is a purpose. But then there are those born on the side of the moon. And those born on the side of the moon are actually like, they are the mothers of new archetypes, the mothers of invention and innovation. They are the channels of divine introspection. Like they are I almost say like a God spousal kind of a role, but like not in a patriarchal way. Like they co-create with the universe. I see the elephants, and I see like the matriarchy, and I see this role that was like where you were designed to give birth in a different and novel way, giving birth to like novel, new into the world. Like there's something very critical in all of that. And so it's like born on the side of the moon. It's like it's a different kind of baby. And that's not saying that you can't have a physical baby, that you won't have a physical baby. But this is like an art baby, like I can like something new, something novel, new archetypes. Like that's not anything recycled. That's not a skill. That's something else. Some magic is basically what I'm saying. And so like with this moon card, like there's justice to be had in the type of fertility that you offer. But you're not going to find that in what was. You're not going to find that with your brain scanning. Think about your mind and the capacity of the swords and the mental consciousness body and how it synthesizes information. It has to have a body of information that is already there in order to synthesize with something new that is born of that is new, that is born is not like the old recycled into new, and it's something that comes not from the mind but from the place that opens up when you get to the acceptance and you stop asking the question and you just allow for the spaciousness, like whatever that void is, it's like it's a different kind of womb. And so you're being encouraged to like recognize that the story might not have been what you expected it to be, but the birth of something new, something that was born, you know, in great difficulty with that pearl, has a lot to do, like your guides are saying you do have this gift with the Queen of Swords and words, but at an emotional level, there's something your guides are that you, and I'm like almost kind of like lost the thread on these readings because they've been so intense, but like you guys are saying, like, you know, what you haven't been seeing is the value of what you're already holding. What you haven't been seeing is your place in the world because you're looking in the world to find it. And your place is something new. You're birthing something new. You're creating something new. This heritage that you carry within you, that is this type of, it's been refined over generations in a type of grief. 5 of emotions, 4 of emotions. Like, this is going to be like not finding your place, not finding a place to bring this into the world, not being able to let this grow in the light of day. The Fool card, this is changing. We're entering a new eon, a new time, and what you have to offer has been refined in this place of darkness, in the moon, within the womb. So the moon is like within the womb, a birth within the womb, new traits, you know, new archetypes, a birth within the womb of something, a birth that like in the underworld almost. And that doesn't mean that it won't take life in the light of day. I think it will. It's just how you're meant to appreciate the way that this comes into form is to look away from what the prescription may have been, with the judgment. Something is going to resurrect here for you. And I feel it in my nose, like I have like a twinkle in my nose, which I always associate with magic. Ace of Wands, 3 of Cups, the Devil, and the 7 of Swords. And the Ace of Coins. I just saw Sleeping Beauty, the cartoon from the 70s, and there's the evil spell that sort of is supposed to call her into a sleep, and that's what I saw. As soon as I pulled these out, I saw that whole story. What was the deal with Sleeping Beauty that came through? Well, the Ace of Coins is, and you can see this is the path, your path, the path that is meant for you, the path that you're on, the path that you were meant to have. Again, something about like the moon, you know, having to be in like shadows. So, but this path here that is meant for you, and it's lighting up. It means coming into acceptance with the Judgment card. There's something that you have to make a judgment on related to like ambition and self-worth and love of life and wanting to participate, like legitimately wanting to participate with life does mean passing judgment, you know, like calling judgment, allowing for like judgment day around whatever this like distraction, and you have to look at the thing that you're running from. With the Ace of Wands being about inspiration, 3 of Cups is again, there's a place for what you have to offer that is extremely important. But the Devil card says that like right now, wherever this is, it's bound to some sort of deception, and maybe that is a self-deception. That's why I felt like a kind of like with that 10 of materials, like the wealth and the value, and the 5 of emotions, it's like it's not appreciated, right? Something is not properly appreciated. And what it means for you to push it into that place of appreciation here with the Mother card, to bring this into the world. It seems to be bound. It's like there's something of great value, and it's a celebration, and you're carrying this beautiful quality. But there's some justice that needs to be brought in about like what it is and where it, you know, what it has to offer. Mother fierce, I can feel it. There's a call to like fiercely bring something into the world that's new. The Lotus Throne. It takes courage to trust your inner light, to ascend the throne of your own inner spiritual authority, especially in light of others around you seem more powerful. You are being asked to trust the light within above all else. Have faith in your own heart. Know that the divine dwells within, is always with you. Mother fierce is like a guardian. So you have something difficult to bring into the world. It's a difficult labor. It's a difficult birth. It's a difficult curry. Like you're currying, you're nurturing something that in one way or another requires like help. This Ace of Wands, this passion that you have, like that you're wanting to bring to the world, like the Devil and the Seven of Swords says, it's still bound to some sort of deception, and it might be self-deception. So let's take a quick look and see what that could be, because judgment on wanting to bring this into the world means stepping into some level of faith and courage. And you might feel trapped, you know, you might feel like gate kept or like, you know, shamed or something. The Pilgrim, opportunities and growth, and the Pathless in reverse. So yeah, really stepping into that path with the King, control, reversal of fortune. You're meant to sort of actually like labor something into the world here with the vow. There's a promise here that you made to, like, as your higher self made to the world, to bring through whatever this experience was and sort of free it and emancipate it from other stories. And that does mean going into meditation on like this central question of this reading that has kind of come up in all 3 places, which is like, what is the relationship between the predator and the prey? This thing, this like thing that you're distracted, that it's like a pain point that you run away from. Everybody has a different pain point that they run away from. And so whatever your pain point is that you run away from, you're being called to meditate, you know, in a way that takes care of yourself, obviously, like put on all the proper like safeguards in place, make sure you have a support system or some way of kind of supporting yourself through what it might be to ask this question of like, what is it that I'm running away from, that I don't want to look at, that I don't want to face? That within it is, you know, that healing process, within the acceptance that this happened, within the acceptance of this like this other path, the moon path instead of the sun path. How do we find acceptance and graciousness and healing around what it is to have an encounter this, like whatever the story is? Because this story does have opportunities for growth. It does have something really beautiful that is being birthed through you, for you. There is a 10 of materials, a 10 of pentacles quality that you're meant to experience and encounter. The path is not laid before you. You have to make that path with the Pilgrim, but you can with that Mother Fierce. And so that judgment, it comes in to say, you know, there may not be a path provided for me, but I'm going to make the judgment to make that path, because whatever this inspiration is bound to, you have the power to fiercely overcome it with your truth and with whatever this lineage of wealth ends up being. And so pile number 1, there's like a fate here that, should you accept it, is like bring the difficult thing through. And again, that's like a multi-step, multi-layer process of like not engaging with art for the purpose of like, you know, presentation, but sort of engaging with what it is to ask these questions of yourself, to find the answer and to see what that answer says to you about, like, it's going to reveal something here with the Mother. It's going to show you that there's been something that's been growing all along, and that whatever that thing that has been growing all along is, it's grown despite you're trying to push it away and push it, because it's a pearl, you know, despite you're not wanting to deal with it, look at it, or have it incorporated into what it is that you're meant to express here with the vow. Still it persists, and it is becoming a pearl, and it is a pearl. And so that's what the Mother Fierce is really saying, that, you know, whatever you've been slowed down about, whatever has not been a clear path and has been an experience of like growth in the womb and the moon, you're meant to bring something new into the world. And there is justice in it with the Empress there. It is something that is fertile, but you have to make the path. There's almost an aspect of parthenogenesis in this. And so look that up. But pile number 3, that is for you. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you again soon.